Hello. We're live. We're alive. Hold up. Oh shit. You know what I gotta do? One sec. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had to close my windows. I don't want any I don't want a smidge of daylight entering this house. Not this room. Not this room. Not when I'm in here fucking streaming it up. How does this work? Oh shit. Oh, my headphones are twisted. I'm gonna kill myself in a video game. I would never do it in real life. I'm too cool. Oh, I can unmute this. Cool. How we doing? Welcome. What's up, stream? Goodness garbanzo. I just got back from lunch. I'm so full. I had like 7. I wasn't paying attention. I ended up having like 7 or 8 cups of coffee and good glorbo. I'm tired. Can I move this actually? Oh no, I can't because I can't. That's where the... Actually, I'm okay with that. That's actually really centered. I'm just stupid. Okay, I'm gonna spit this gum out. Ugh. Go in the can. There we go. Okay. Oh, what a day. What a day. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of it. I'm in like a smidge of a food coma. But, you know, we got some politics to do. We got some fucking... I need a haircut too. See, it looks fine for back here, but it's getting a little crazy, but maybe we grow it out. Maybe the hair comes back into its length and girth. Sorry, I was turning my fan on because it's a little warm in here with my pooter. Okay. We got a whole bunch of news going on. The Epstein, the Trump is a pedophile. At this point, if you're a Trump supporter, you just straight up support pedophiles. That's it. It just is what it is. You know, it's like, listen, you can either support pedophiles or be a Democrat. Is basically how it is. If you're a Republican at this point, you are a pedophile supporter, at least. And maybe a pedophile yourself, honestly, because if you don't care about pedophilia, you might as well be a pedophile for the amount of harm you're doing, which is equal. All right, listen. We got politics. We got some politics. Listen. You remember when Trump was like, guys, you should gerrymander your districts, Texas and other Republican states. I don't want to lose the midterms because I'm a big whiny bitch. And then Gavin Newsom, mega Chad, is like, fuck your wants and desires, big bitch boy. And we pass Prop 50, get fucked. The whiny little chuds over in the Republican Justice Department are now suing California because they're such baby cuck bitches that they can't handle losing. They're so weak. You want to know what is genuine lawfare? This is lawfare. All right, lawfare as a concept, at least when the Republicans use it, is not a real thing. There's no evidence of it. As far as it being like controlled by the Republican Party and like pushed by like leadership to like do things that would be outside of like the norm. But like we are seeing this shit happen and we're like, oh, this is actual lawfare. This is Donald Trump directly influencing the Justice Department to stop something. So... like, they're going to lose because the Justice Department are a bunch of cucks, and California is based Giga Chad with Daddy Gavin. But, like, let's see what's happening. Okay. The Justice Department on Thursday sued to block new congressional district boundaries approved by California voters last week, joining a court battle that could help determine which party wins control of the U.S. House in 2026. The complaint filed in California federal court targets the new congressional map pushed by Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom in response to a similar Republican-led effort in Texas backed by President Donald Trump. and it sets the stage for a high-stakes legal and political fight between the Republican administration and the Democratic governor, who's seen as a likely 2028 presidential contender. It's a little early to say if he is, like, as of this moment, if the elections were tomorrow, Gavin Newsom would get every Democratic vote, in my opinion. But 2028 is still a little bit away. So I think, let's chill. Let's chill for a moment. Anyways, California's redistricting scheme is a brazen power grab that tramples on civil rights and mocks the democratic process, Attorney General Pam Bondi said in an emailed statement. Governor Newsom's attempt to entrench one-party rule and silence millions of Californians will not stand. What a bunch of fucking baby cucks, dude. They do it in Texas, and they're like, we're Giga Chad-based democracy people. And they didn't fucking vote on that shit. There was no fucking public election on that. They just did that. And then they're going to come over to California where there was a vote, and they're going to cry about fucking democracy and civil rights? Dude, if there's a single fucking Republican in the year of our Lord, 2000 fucking... Why am I erroring on my Kick? Is my Kick not streaming? My Kick's not streaming, guys. What's happening? But listen, no, if there is a single person out here who like... Oh, I am live. I'm being lied to. My Kick is live. Dude, my screen blows up. My face gets so goddamn pale. Yeah, I'm streaming. What the fuck? It's okay. It's just lying to me. It's just lying to me, guys. Don't worry. I don't want to hear if a single fucking there is no Republican in the world who gets to like describe what's happening here and like complain about California, because like it is literally the exact same thing as Texas, but even more democratic. Like to say otherwise is just fucking delusional and retarded. Newsom spokesperson Brandon Richards said in a statement, those losers lost at the ballot box, and soon they will also lose in court. Fuck yeah, dude. Honestly, because they are losers. These are losers. These are whiny fucking babies, okay? There's nothing serious with this group of people. They're seriously evil, and they're seriously retarded. The legal move marks the first time the Justice Department has sued over a flurry of unusual mid-decade House map revisions across the country that were drawn to maximize partisan advantage in advance of next year's election. Just to clarify, this was started by the Republican Party. The Republican Party pulled out a gun, and then now they're crying because the Democrats have pulled out a gun. They're like, how dare you have a gun? Only we can have a gun. They're fucking losers, dude. They're so whiny. God, I hate them. They're so stupid. California voters overwhelmingly approved Proposition 50, a constitutional amendment changing the congressional boundaries to give Democrats a shot at winning 5 seats now held by Republicans in next year's midterm elections. The Justice Department is joining a case challenging the new map that was brought by the California Republican Party last week. The Trump administration accuses California of racial gerrymandering. Fuck off, dude. These people literally are also trying to get rid of the fucking VRA, okay? Jesus Christ. These people... They have no souls. These are soulless ghouls, dude. They want to get rid of all the fucking racial shit, but as soon as it's to their advantage, they're like, you're actually gerrymandering because racism? Like, fuck off. You don't actually care about... They're so... Fuck, they're a bunch of cucks, dude. They're a bunch of, like... dude, to be a normal Republican who, like, just votes for Republicans is like, I'm a Republican... Like, you better never talk about fucking strength or masculinity or, like, who's more fucking Chad, because you're never gonna get it from the fucking Republican Party. The fucking whiniest, most beta cuck losers in the world, dude. It's pathetic. God, I hate them. Okay. By using race as a factor to favor Hispanic voters with the new map. It asks a judge to prohibit California from using the new map in any future elections. Get fucked. It's going to get used. You're going to lose, and you're going to cry about it, and you're going to be a fucking beta, and you're going to crawl around on your hands and knees crying, okay? Crying about, the Democrat, and you're going to like it, okay? You're going to put a little collar on. It's going to say fucking slave, and you're going to be a cuck. Get fucked. Race cannot be used as a proxy to advance political interests, but that is precisely what the California General Assembly did with Proposition 50, the recent ballot initiative that junked California's pre-existing electoral map in favor of a rush job rejiggering of California's congressional district lines, the lawsuit says. To clarify, this is the same Republican Party that is cheering this on in Texas, cheering this on in fucking Utah. Like, what a bunch of fucking whiny little hypocrites. It's pathetic. Prop 50 was Newsom's response to Trump's maneuvers in Texas, where Republicans rejiggered districts in hopes of picking up 5 seats of their own ahead of the 2026 midterm elections, when House control will be on the line. I'm praying for like the biggest blue wave, okay? Because listen, we've impeached Trump a fuck ton. We got to get a full impeachment. We got to get this fucking cuck out of there. Like, midterms happen. We take the Senate, we take the House, and Trump is gone in a week, okay? That's what's going to happen. And it not just gone, but like fucking lawsuits, okay? Pam Bondi, we're going to tie her to a chair and we're going to make her arrest Donald Trump, okay? We're going to force her to do it, okay? Come on. I want to see it. I want to see Pam Bondi personally have to put handcuffs on Donald Trump, okay? Democrats need to gain just a handful of seats next year to take control of the chamber, which would imperil Trump's agenda for the remainder of his term and open the way for congressional investigations into his administration. I'm not a fan of like lawsuits generally for like political purposes. Like, I think that's not good for a democracy, but like, there need to be like, people need to be held to account. There can be no reconciliation in this country. There cannot be like, we cannot just move past this. This needs to be like, the Republican Party as a whole needs to like be devastated. And now my stream's back. Hell yeah. My internet just like cucked itself for like 30 seconds there, but we're back, whatever. Okay. Republicans hold 219 seats to Democrats' 214. The showdown between the nation's 2 most populous states has spread nationally, with Missouri, North Carolina, and Ohio adopting new district lines that could provide a partisan advantage, and other states are considering similar moves. This is literally, to clarify, this is the Republicans' fault. They started this, and now they got to eat the pasta that they made. They cooked the big bowl of pasta, and they wanted it for themselves. And now the Democrats are over here cooking pasta, and they're like, no, you can't have pasta. Only we can have pasta. Fucking babies, dude. The national implication of California's ballot measure were clear in both the money it attracted and the high-profile figures who became involved. Tens of millions of dollars flowed into the race, including a $5 million donation to opponents from the Congressional Leadership Fund, the Super Political Action Committee tied to House Speaker Mike Johnson, the Republican from Louisiana. Which, imagine being from Louisiana and talking about any problem in another state. Like, bitch, it's Louisiana. How about you fucking solve any of your problems, okay? There is nothing good in Louisiana. Former Republican Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger opposed it, while former President Barack Obama, a Democrat, appeared in ads supporting it, calling it a smart approach to counter Republican moves aimed at safeguarding House control. Don't get me wrong, Obama got in the game real late, but he's in now, okay? He's fucking locked in. I'm like, sorry, dude, I know that you wish to, like, stop being president and you don't really want to engage with politics, but you gotta fucking engage with politics now, dude. Like, the alternative is fucking, like, is just Republicans raping the country. So, yeah. I'm glad he's in. What are we saying? Is unfair. Fuck off. Which one's more unethical? Texas? Yeah, no, okay. It's good enough. Texas? Yeah. Republicans are a bunch of fucking cucks. If a Republican ever, like, tries to have a conversation with you about politics ever, just laugh at them. These are not serious people with serious ideas. They're just stupid people. They're stupid or evil. All right. Next thing. Guys, the government shutdown. It's over. I think it got voted on last night or the day before. The government has been reopened. But it looks like shit is fucked, and the economy has been fucked for a while, so it looks like the fuckage is just getting more fucky. Top to bottom, we're getting railed. Hell yeah. The 6-week government shutdown that came to an end late Wednesday will be another drag on an economy already facing many challenges, though the full impact will take months to measure. About 1.25 million federal workers haven't been paid since October 1st, roughly 10,000 flights have been canceled since last week, and disruptions will continue, the officials say, even as air traffic controllers return to work. Government contract awards have slowed, and many food aid recipients have seen their benefits interrupted. The Republican Party, literally starving people. Most of the lost economic activity will be recovered when the government reopens, as federal workers will receive back pay. But some canceled flights won't be rebooked, many canceled restaurant reservations won't be made again, and some postponed purchases will never happen. The shutdown also cut off the flow of economic data on jobs, inflation, and consumer spending, which could lead the Federal Reserve to skip what had been an expected interest rate cut at its next meeting in December. Just remember as well, I forget, was it the BLS? I think we've stopped releasing jobs data from there because Trump doesn't like them. Like, we're literally cooking our own economy because Trump, like, cries too hard. Like, Trump is such a fucking, like, baby boy that, like, literally you go to, like, do even the most, like, minute things of, like, hey, we just, like, want to put out the jobs numbers. Like, it's not like a direct reflection on you, but, like, you know, we kind of need this so that, like, everyone knows if the economy is, like, doing, like, well or not. And then you have Trump come in and be like, the jobs numbers, not the jobs numbers. And then he fucking, like, just turns it off. Fuck. The only word I can describe it is beta, because it is. It's just beta activity. All right. It's just cuck activity. It's just like, come on, dude, be normal. The shutdown has been harmful to the U.S. economy and to critical data collection about employment, prices, and more, said Heather Long, the chief economist at the Navy Federal Credit Union. Ugh. Sorry, I'm just wiggling my shit around. Just give me a second. Okay. The Congressional Budget Office estimated that a 6-week shutdown will reduce growth in this year's fourth quarter by about 1.5 percentage points. That would cut growth by about half from the third quarter. The reopening should boost first quarter growth next year by 2.2 percentage points, the CBO projected, but about $11 billion in economic activity will be permanently lost. Guys, we don't need that $11 billion, okay? We're America, all right? We're going to outgrow our debt. The previous longest government shutdown in 2018-2019 lasted 35 days, but only partially shut the government because many of the agencies had been fully funded. It only nicked the economy by about 0.02% of GDP, the CBO said then. Who was president back then, by the way? Donald Trump. Wow. The great negotiator can't fucking do anything. Whatever. This year's shutdown adds to the economy's existing challenges, which include sluggish hiring, stubbornly elevated inflation, and President Donald Trump's tariffs, which have caused uncertainty for many businesses. Still, few economists foresee a recession. Here are the ways the government closure has weighed on the economy. Missed paychecks. Hell yeah. Who needs to get paid? All told, federal workers missed about $16 billion in wages, the CBO estimates. That has meant less spending at stores, restaurants, and likely reduced holiday travel. Large purchases will probably be postponed, slowing the broader economy. Trump has threatened during the shutdown to not provide back pay, but the deal struck in Congress would replace those lost wages once the government reopens. Isn't that like just blatant evil, right? Where it's like the government went out of their way to not fund SNAP and brought that shit to the Supreme Court, okay? They're that desperate for people to not have food. And then he's so fucking desperate. He's like, you don't get paid either. Like, what is more blatantly like evil and just like amoral? Like, not feeding people, not paying people. I can't think of much worse than that. The shutdown is added to the Washington, D.C. area's economic woes, where the unemployment rate was already at 6% before the shutdown. After Trump's cuts to the federal workforce this spring, which was also illegal, by the way, while the Washington, D.C. area, including the nearby suburbs in Virginia and Maryland, has the highest concentration of federal workers, most live and work outside of the nation's capital. Federal workers make up about 5.5% of Maryland's workforce, according to the Bipartisan Policy Center. But they also comprise 2.9% of New Mexico's workers, 2.6% of Oklahoma's, and 3.8% of Alaska's. Then there are the federal contractors. Bernard Yaros, an economist at Oxford Economics, estimates they could total as many as 5.2 million, and they are not guaranteed back pay once the shutdown ends. Fantastic. Listen, guys, you don't need people in the economy to have money. Listen, Elon Musk made his trillion, okay? These guys, they don't need to be in the economy. Elon Musk will cover all of their money. Interest rate cuts. The government shutdown cut off the flow of economic data on unemployment, inflation, and retail spending that the Federal Reserve depends on to monitor the economy's health. Even as the government reopens, some of that data may not ever be reported, while other data will be delayed. As a result, the Fed may not deliver a third interest rate cut at its December meeting, which was widely expected before the shutdown. What do you do if you're driving in the fog? You slow down, Federal Chair Jerome Powell said at a news conference late last month. I mean, that's based. You just gotta chill out. Powell said the Fed's interest rate setting committee is deeply divided over whether to reduce its key rate, partially because of the economy's health is unusually cloudy right now. The government has missed 2 monthly jobs reports, and the October inflation data, scheduled to be published Thursday, will likely never be issued. Honestly, if I'm in the fucking American economy right now, I'm either in AI or I'm in nothing. Because, fuck, dude, this is like, how do you, as a business, when you're not like, obviously the AI people are going to fucking keep pumping money into each other, right? NVIDIA goes to fucking Opera GX into fucking OpenAI, into Intel. Like, they're all just fucking, it's like a fucking loop of funding. But, like, anywhere else in the economy, how do you make a decision as a company to be like, can we do anything, or are we going to need to start firing people? Like, on Wednesday, Susan Collins, president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, said that the lack of economic data is one reason she is hesitant to support another rate cut next month. Collins has a vote on the Fed's interest rate setting committee. Fewer rate cuts could discourage borrowing and spending and weigh on the economy in the coming months. Yeah, I'm like, how do you know? Do we cut? Do we raise? Do we what do we do? And you'll never know because you have no information. Flight disruptions. Airlines have scrapped more than 10,000 flights on orders from the Federal Aviation Administration, which is attempting to reduce the burden on overworked air traffic controllers who have now missed 2 paychecks. Which I've heard, actually, when that was happening, they were still receiving the paycheck, and it still had all the hours and shit listed, but they got paid 0. Which, like, can you imagine how fucking, like, demoralizing that shit must be? You work, like, 60 hours in a week, fucking making sure people, like, aren't dying when, like, planes are, like, falling out of the sky, and then you get your paycheck and it's just $0, and it's like, and then you turn on the TV and it's fucking Trump being like, and they won't receive back pay, we don't want them being paid, we hate people. Like, what a fucking terrible, terrible, terrible thing to happen, dude. Even before the flight cancellations, Tourism Economics, an economic consulting firm, estimated that the shutdown would reduce travel spending by $63 million a day. And that means that the 6-week standoff cost the travel industry $2.6 billion. Dude, $2 billion. 2.6, that's almost $3 billion, dog. That's it's an industry that fucking already has, like, the finest, thinnest fucking margins in the world. Listen, if Spirit Airlines fails, that's okay. If JetBlue fails, we've got a problem. Consumer sentiment. The shutdown has worsened America's outlook on the broader economy. Declining consumer sentiment can over time reduce spending and slow growth, though in recent years, Americans have kept shopping even when their outlooks turned grim. Consumer sentiment dropped to a 3-year low and close to the lowest point ever recorded last week in a survey by the University of Michigan, with pessimism over personal finances and anticipated business conditions weighing on Americans. The November survey showed the index of consumer sentiment at 50.4, down a startling 2.6% from last month and a plunge of nearly 30% from a year ago. Damn. Listen, guys, Trump's going to fix it, guys. He's going to get in here and he's going to turn it all around, okay? He's the master negotiator. He's the economic wizard, okay? At least that's what he tells me. I don't know if that's actually true. He could be lying. I don't want I don't want to say too much, but he could very well be lying. Federal spending. While the shutdown hasn't cut off all federal... What the hell is this? I don't want your fucking... Get your shit out of here. Yaros estimates that about $800 million in new contracts were at risk of not being awarded each day of the shutdown. The federal award spigot has all but turned off at the Department of Defense, NASA, and the Department of Homeland Security, Yaros wrote. And then, of course, SNAP. The shutdown delayed the payments of $8 billion in monthly SNAP food aid to 42 million recipients in November, creating a significant financial disruption for many households that will likely reduce spending. It's still not clear how soon all the benefits will be paid this month, though the government says they could be paid as soon as Thursday in many states. Okay, so guys, they're only going to starve for a little bit longer. They're only going to starve until, actually, today's Thursday. They will stop starving today. They can go get their food right now. It was just a couple weeks of no food money, guys. Come on. Guys, have you considered that they're all just lazy? Okay, they don't deserve it. Okay, come on. All right. Final news article. James Comey, Letitia James. The two fucking based giga chads experiencing actual lawfare. The thing that Trump cried about for when he was being held accountable for actual crimes is now he's just like actually doing political persecution through like these lawsuits over what is it? I don't know. James Comey, is it mortgage fraud for both of them? Are we really? And then I think not Chuck Schumer, Adam Schiff, isn't he getting mortgage fraud shit too? Fuck off. Dude, Trump needs to go to jail. Trump needs to go to jail. All of his supporters need to fucking go to jail. Like this, it's criminally stupid to have voted for Donald Trump. Like your brain is melted out your fucking ears. Like you're fully brain dead. I can't help you. Oh yeah, and then the fucking prosecutor, like, they had to go to like 8 different people to try and get this prosecuted, and then this bitch like doesn't even have a law degree. She's like a beauty model or whatever to do it because like everyone knows it's so retarded. Like, dude, it's retarded. Dude, politics makes me want to melt myself. Lawyers for 2 of President Donald Trump's foes who have been charged by the Justice Department asked a judge on Thursday to dismiss the case against them, saying the prosecutor who secured the indictments was illegally installed in the role. Based? U.S. District Judge Cameron McGowan Curry says she expects to decide by Thanksgiving on challenges to Lindsay Halligan's appointment as interim U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. The case is against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James, both shepherded by the hastily installed Halligan, have amplified concerns the Justice Department is being used as a weapon to target the Republican president's perceived adversaries. That is not an amplified concern. That is the reality of the situation. Donald Trump is doing political persecution. He literally, he fucking tweeted out at Pam Bondi. He made a tweet and said, hey, these people are not being prosecuted fast enough. Get on that shit. And then the next week, we had fucking indictments. Also, the Republican Party, who shit all over the grand jury indictments for Donald Trump, all of a sudden is like, these grand jury indictments against these 2 people, flawless. Like, bitch, you were crying about this when Donald Trump got indicted, but all of a sudden it's, grand juries? Nothing better than a grand jury indictment. It's flawless. It means the case is basically closed. Dude, they're such hypocrites on every issue. They're such hypocrites. I'm dying. Where's my water? There's my water. Ugh. Curry also disclosed in court that a record of grand jury proceedings in the Comey case that she reviewed was missing a portion, which she said raised questions about whether Attorney General Pam Bondi could have properly ratified the indictment as the Justice Department says she did. You think fucking Pam Bondi did anything? You think this fucking bimbo blonde bitch? Not her. This is Halligan. Is Pam Bondi around here? There's no photo. There's no... You think this fucking dipshit bitch, you think this absolute mega cunt, you think this woman, you think she knows anything? You think this is the woman? This fucking cunt? You think, how dare you question her? That's Pam Bondi, okay? Dude, I swear to God. It's like a joke, but like she looks a little normal here, but like I swear to God, the evil, like look at her face. This is like, it hasn't even been a year and she looks like she's like turning into a fucking ghoul. Like the evil shows. It has to. It's like Donald Trump, all of them, like they look worse than they did like even a year ago. Like look at her here. And just like look, like she's becoming more evil every day and it's showing in her body. It's crazy. Okay. Here we go. Halligan was installed in the job at Trump's urging by Bondi in September, just days before Comey was indicted, in what defense lawyers say was a violation of complex constitutional and statutory rules governing the appointment of U.S. attorneys. Something that's interesting about this is a lot of the time when like the Republican Party or Trump like kind of like ignore or do something that isn't like the way it's meant to be, they always go, oh, they're just getting rid of like the bureaucracy. They're just ignoring it and they're just like, they're getting shit done, you know? That's what the government needs to do. But like the reality is that like there are rules and regulations in place everywhere for everything for reasons, right? Like I remember hearing Ben Shapiro talk about this back in my MAGA days of when I was in like fucking high school and Trump was running and I was like, oh, based. I was a chud. I freely admit that. But I remember a lot of the time he said, when a conservative goes out into a field and sees a post dug into the ground, he will examine the post and he will look around the post and he will try to decide why that post is there before removing the post. But the liberal, the radical Democrat will just rip up the post without even knowing why it's there. Like that principle is being applied here. It just happens to be that the fucking Republican Party is just tearing up the post because they don't give a shit. They just want to do what they want to do and they want to commit crimes and they don't like laws. They don't like rules. They don't like regulations and they're going to fuck themselves on it, which they're doing. They're fucking themselves left, right, and center. Trump is getting on stage with his 12-inch dildo and ramming it into his own cunt. He's going just like deep in that bitch. And then MAGA goes, yeah, look how deep of a fucking dildo Trump can take on stage. Like, it's fucking based. I don't know what that was. Sorry. I don't know if that didn't really have a point. I just said it. Anyways, Miss Halligan was the sole prosecutor in the grand jury room, and when the sole prosecutor lacks the authority, said Ephraim McDowell, one of Comey's defense lawyers, that's not going to be a harmless error. U.S. attorneys, top federal prosecutors who oversee regional Justice Department outposts across the country, are typically nominated by the president and then confirmed by the Senate. Attorneys general have the authority to get around that process by naming an interim U.S. attorney who can serve for 120 days. But lawyers for Comey and James argued that once that period expires, the law gives federal judges the exclusive say of who gets to fill the vacancy. But that's not what happened in this instance. The interim U.S. attorney resigned under pressure. After then, interim U.S. attorney Eric Siebert resigned in September while facing Trump administration pressure to bring charges against Comey and James. Bondi installed Halligan, a White House aide with no prior prosecutorial experience. Is that alone not enough to just for like the average person be like, isn't that a little sus that like if you really cared about the laws and making sure that like these people see justice, you would want to do everything the exact right way so that you are above reproach. But like when you're just rushing this shit through and just doing whatever you have to just get the prosecution ready, to fucking get the indictments, to fucking bring these people to court, like it seems like you care more about attacking your enemies than it does have anything to do with justice or, you know, like seeing justice done in any way. Like it's the things are just so like blatantly obvious that it's like it's really it's just painfully stupid. Okay. The appointment followed a Trump post on Truth Social in which he complained to her about the lack of prosecutorial. I'm fucking stroking out on why I can't say this word right. Prosecutorial. Hold up. Prosecutorial. Dude, I've had too much coffee. I'm stroking out right now. Prosecutorial. About the lack of prosecutorial action against his political enemies and said justice must be served now. To clarify, justice, he means attack his enemies, take down his enemies, because he's a big baby bitch. I mean, he even looks like a big baby. Siebert had been appointed by Bondi in January to serve as interim U.S. attorney. Trump in May announced his intention to nominate him, and judges in the Eastern District unanimously agreed after his 120-day period expired that he should be retained in the role. But after the Trump administration effectively pushed him out in September, the Justice Department again opted to make an interim appointment in place of the courts, something defense lawyers say it is not empowered under the law to do. It's almost like the government, under Donald Trump, doesn't give a shit about rules, laws, regulations, just just doing crime out in the just doing like blatant illegal shit left, right, and center. And the chuds are like drooling, it's fucking executive theory. He can do whatever he wants. And then they fucking take their like Trump cock dildo and shove it down their throat, like, and they just keep it in there until they have to say something. They pull it, and then like, I love Daddy Trump, and it goes back in. Like, very cringe. If the government were to prevail here, McDowell said, then it would never need to go through Senate confirmations again for U.S. attorneys. He said any dismissal of the indictment must be permanent with no opportunity to bring the case again to avoid rewarding the government for a violation. True. The Justice Department defends Halligan's appointment. The Justice Department maintains that the law does not explicitly prevent successive appointments of interim U.S. attorneys by the Attorney General. I mean, no, it doesn't. But also, like, come on, like, God damn it. It's so funny that they're like, we have to go exactly by the law on this one, but then this one we can do more the spirit of the law. Like, no, bitch. You get your Attorney General, your interim Attorney General, and then if they're gone, the judge is appointed. That's the rule. It's not saying interim, and then if they go, you can appoint another one. Like, no, it doesn't say that. Fuck off. Like, come on. Henry Whitaker, a lawyer for the department, argued that the indictment was properly returned by a grand jury and should not be dismissed over what he described as at most a paperwork or clerical error. Bitch, are you crazy? Lawsuits get tossed over paperwork and clerical errors all the fucking time. It's a very important part of the process. If your paperwork is wrong, who fucking knows what's going on? Like, imagine being like, you write down the fucking wrong charge on your paperwork. You have to be able to fucking toss shit over paperwork errors. Are you crazy? Like, the paperwork says we're charging this person for this thing, and then the lawyer gets up there and is like, sir, we're actually charging them for this. And it's like, nobody agreed to that. No, because like you exchange shit, lawsuits, like the person gets it, and then the other person, like, everyone sees everything. Like, this, do we not understand how, like, this is a lawyer. How does a lawyer, I mean, obviously he's not a real lawyer in the sense that, like, if you're a lawyer currently for the Justice Department and you're like a fucking Republican or whatever, just kill yourself, because, like, Jesus Christ, you're just a fake person. The grand jury made a decision based on the facts and the law, and they followed their oath, Whitaker said. Yeah, except when it comes to Donald Trump, then it's like, you can't do that. You cannot follow your oath. You're actually a bunch of fucking partisan hacks. Like, Jesus Christ. He also said that even if there were questions about Halligan's appointment, they were resolved by the fact that Bondi had personally ratified the indictment and reviewed the grand jury proceedings. but Curie, the judge, questioned whether that was possible, given that a section of the grand jury proceedings that were produced to her was for unexplained reasons missing a section. That, even if it is true that Pam Bondi like did ratify that, it just means she's retarded. Like it only speaks to her being retarded, right? Like if it's missing a whole how do you miss a whole page? Like this is literally her job, and you can't. It's levels of incompetence that if you were a fucking like a junior executive at a company and you fucking forget a whole page. I imagine a fucking like what are they called? Oh, what are they called in suits? Like the guys who just do the paperwork on the side. The Mike's love interest was one in the beginning, fucking a helper, assistant, whatever. Like imagine if those fuckers like forgot something and then the lawyers are like filling out the paper and they're like, we're missing the 4th page. That bitch is getting fired. Like, come on, dude. This is bare minimum shit that you're expected to do at any job. Okay. Comey has pleaded not guilty to charges of making a false statement and obstructing Congress, and James, a Democrat, has pleaded not guilty to mortgage fraud allegations. The challenges to Halligan's appointment are part of a multi-pronged effort to get the prosecutions tossed before trial. Their lawyers have separately argued that the prosecutions are improperly vindictive and motivated by the president's personal animus towards their clients and therefore should be dismissed. Which, like, we know that is true because Trump literally tweeted about it. And he's been on record multiple fucking times saying he does not like these people and they should be tried for crimes. Like, there's not much more to say. Like, I don't... If these cases don't get dismissed, I don't know what to do with the fucking Justice Department anymore. Because, like, the amount of evidence that shows, like, Trump is, like, being just evil is, like, it's overwhelming. All right. Trump's history with Comey and James. Comey, as FBI director in the early months of Trump's first term, infuriated the president through his oversight of investigation into potential ties between Russia and Trump's 2016 campaign. To clarify, there were potential ties. There was why is Robert Mueller? Not Mueller? Was Mueller in jail? No, Roger Stone. Fuck, who are the people? I know Roger Stone was one. Like, why did these people go to jail? Why did Trump have to pardon him? What happened there? Almost like they did crime. Almost like there's a whole fucking report, like the Mueller report. Almost, which I have, by the way. You should read it. It's insane. Like, we know the Trump campaign interfered. We know they interfered in the investigation. Because Comey was like literally just doing his job. Like, Trump literally got in the way of that investigation in a way that Joe Biden never did when it came to Hunter. Like, it's just immoral. It's just like stupid retard shit constantly. Trump fired Comey in May 2017. The two have been open adversaries since, with Comey labeling Trump as unethical and comparing him to a mafia boss, and Trump branding Comey an untruthful slimeball and calling for him to be punished because of the Russia investigation. What a fucking... Trump is such a weak baby, dude. I don't want to hear anybody ever arguing fucking strongman, okay? Because he's like, yeah, he's a strongman to the cult, but like, he's a big baby boy. James has been a frequent target of Trump's ire, especially since she won a staggering judgment against him and the Trump Organization in a lawsuit alleging he defrauded banks by overstating the value of his real estate holdings on financial statements. An appeals court overturned the fine, which had ballooned to more than $500 million with interest, but upheld a lower court's finding that Trump had committed fraud. Literally, Trump is complaining about something that came with zero consequences. Like, he didn't even go to jail. He got nothing. Like, he's such a fucking baby that he can't even handle being told you did a bad thing. He's that much of a baby, dude. Oh, it's just like so stupid. It's just, ugh. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die in a hole. Anyways, guys, we're going to war with Venezuela. I hope you're excited. America's back. We're so back. The peace president is bringing his all for peace, for America, for the love of the game, for the love of the war. Can I get an amen? I think something that's kind of crazy that's happening here is like the Venezuelan government is like being so like calm right now. Like it's good that they're not going to war with us because we would destroy them. But like, come on, dude. Oh shit, my internet. There we go. Making queer? You making queers over there in Venezuela? We gotta stop that shit ASAP. No more queers out of Venezuela. Guys, we're not going to war, I swear. I'm the peace president, guys. Damn. Just to clarify, Trump is doing war crimes, by the way. Like, just International Court of Justice, by their standards, it's a war crime. We're not technically part of the ICC, I think, whatever it's called, International Criminal Court. But there's the ICC stuff for what is, and then there's some other like national thing that you don't really have to be like in party to or agreed to or signed on to. But there's like a general list of things that's like, hey, these are generally like war crimes and bad things countries should not be doing. And one of the things that is on that list is just indiscriminately bombing boats. Yeah, but they also don't have the fucking legal authority to target anything outside Venezuela with what they're fucking doing.